Hi, friends, and welcome to Teachers Learning Lounge with Jody. I want to know if this sounds familiar. You are low-key annoyed with one of your colleagues. Maybe they keep asking you to cover for them last minute. Maybe they're ghosting your shared planning document, or maybe they're talking over you in a meeting, but you choose not to say anything because you don't want it to be weird. You don't want to be the colleague who always has his or her feathers ruffled. Same for me. In my 30 plus years of teaching, I have learned several things about having hard conversations with colleagues. And what I have learned is if nothing happens, nothing changes. Well, except for your resentment, which seems to constantly simmer. But the difficult conversations are worth having, especially if you have a strategy and you can go in with an outcome that improves your overall emotional and mental well-being, and more importantly, even that of your students. So today we are going to learn how to say the hard thing without blowing up the relationship with the colleague. There will be three things we'll talk through today. First, what to do to prepare for the hard conversation. Second, strategies on how to have that difficult conversation. And last, we will focus on what to do after the hard conversation. So the overall goal is less drama, more clarity, and better teamwork. Okay, first step, how to prepare for the hard conversation before the hard conversation. If you go in hot and you go in exhausted and unprepared, your future self is most likely going to regret it. I want you to think about this as your pre-conversation reset. First, I want you to map out the actual problem. I want you to ask yourself, what is the real issue? Is the real issue missed deadlines? Is it a colleague that's talking over you and you feel disrespected? Is it last minute coverage, which frazzles you as a teacher? Then I want you to think, what is the impact on my students? What is the impact on me, my time and my energy, my mental well-being? What is the impact on my team or my school team, my school culture? Next, I want you to separate your feelings from the facts. You might be feeling, oh, this colleague just doesn't respect me. The facts are, this colleague consistently talks over you, or this colleague has asked me 3 times in the last 2 weeks to cover a class last minute. Separate your feelings from facts. You can even write those out if you need to. This happened on these days, or this makes me feel overwhelmed. This makes me frustrated when. Then, before you have the conversation, I want you to think about what your colleague's reaction is going to be. People don't love hearing hard things, and that is totally normal. So I want you to plan for defensiveness, so that you can stay calm and you can go back to how this issue is impacting the team or yourself. Think about your colleague saying, I didn't realize that, and then you'll have your specific examples, not feelings, but examples. Well, this is just how it is. Your colleague might respond that way, but you can redirect it back to the impact on students, team, school culture, and so forth. So don't script their responses, script your clarity as you prepare to have this difficult conversation. So, in summary, maybe your reflection prompts before you go into this hard conversation. What is my goal for the conversation? Am I naming a problem or am I attacking a person? What's the impact on students or our team if this doesn't change? Second, going into the hard conversation. We want to have this conversation without it turning into a TED Talk or without it turning into a fight. So the first thing that you are going to do is you're going to name the issue without any blame, just like you practiced. Skip the you always or you never. Those phrases are going to create instant defensiveness, and you've already prepared to talk about facts. I have noticed that when blank, blank, blank happens, it affects, and then whatever that affect is. So here's an example. I've noticed that when the lesson plans don't get into the shared document until the morning that we teach, it makes it really hard for me to prep, and it impacts how smoothly the class is run for students. That's just a very concrete example. You're talking about behavior and impact. You're not attacking your colleague's character, and that is going to be important. Second, as you're going into this hard conversation, make sure that you're asking open questions. You're not delivering a verdict, you're opening a conversation. You could try saying something like this: how have you been experiencing this? And then whatever the situation is. What is your side of this? What do you think might help this go more smoothly for both of us? This shifts the vibe from "I'm so mad at you" to "let's solve this problem together." Then I would like you to collaborate on solutions. You're not there to drop a complaint and leave. You are there to co-design an outcome and fix the outcome. So, for example, would it help if we set a shared deadline for posting plans? Could we set up a rotation for coverage so that it's not last minute all of the time? What would make this more doable for you? Keep coming back to student success, to workflow sanity, and bring it back always to team and school harmony. Okay, so what could this sound like? Here we go. Teacher A: hey, could we talk about planning for a minute? I've noticed that the shared plans are sometimes going in the morning of, and it's making it hard for me to prep materials. I'm starting to feel a little chaotic for my students. Teacher B: oh wow, I didn't realize it was causing that much stress. I just can plan fast and I've really been slammed, so I didn't think it was a big deal to put those things in last minute. Teacher A: this is you. I get it. Everyone's plates are overflowing. Would it be possible to set a by the Thursday afternoon goal just to get the basics in? I'm totally happy if things still change the day of, but to have a skeleton earlier would really help. What do you think could work? So notice that's direct, but it's not rude. It's clear and it's really kind. Step 3, after you've had the difficult conversation, you need a follow-up. You need to ask that question: is this working for us? Don't ghost the follow-up. This is one of the most critical pieces of having the conversation. If you never check back in, that old problem typically will sneak back into your relationship. So here's what a follow-up could look like. You could send a quick email or a text to your colleague. Hey, thanks for talking earlier. Just to recap, we're going to be adding our lesson plans by Thursday, and then we can make last minute adjustments from there. Could you and I check in a couple weeks and see how that's working for both of us? I appreciate you being open to this suggestion. After a week or two, sending another follow-up text or an email, or even just going into the classroom and saying, hey, how is this new plan working for you on your end? And then you can talk about if you need to make any adjustments. So what you're doing is you're reinforcing what you agreed upon. You're showing that you are invested in the solution, and you're also, most importantly, opening the door to tweak what you had decided the plan was going to be. So your follow-up checklist will look like this. Did I summarize what we agreed on? Did we pick a time frame to check back in? Have I noticed anything I can bring up at the next check-in? Have I asked, is this working for you as well? So before we wrap up, I wanted to share some sentence starters that I have used that I feel have been effective. First, if you're opening a hard conversation, maybe you can copy and paste some of these into your mind. Hey, can we talk about something I've been noticing? I want it to work well with both of us. I've been thinking about how whatever it is affecting our team. Do you have a few minutes to chat about it? Next, during your hard conversation, here are a couple sentence starters that can be impactful. When blank happens, I feel, then you express that, because, and you express that. Can we brainstorm together some ways to make this work better? I really want to understand your side. What does this look like from your perspective? Last, closing steps. So what I'm hearing is that we'll try and then check back in next week Does that sound okay? Thanks for talking this through with me. I really appreciate it, and I think it's going to help our students and our sanity. So here we are at the end of learning about how to have effective, hard, or difficult conversations with colleagues. And I want to end with a challenge. If there is a colleague or a situation with a colleague that is bugging you, I would like you, even if it's bugging you a little bit, to have the courage to have this difficult conversation. Take one of the reflective questions. What's my goal? Am I going after the problem or am I going after the person? Pick one sentence starter from this YouTube clip and use it this week, just once. Low stakes, honest, kind. Then, after you've had your challenging conversation, come back and tell us in the comments what was your sentence starter you used, and then tell us how the conversation went. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for caring enough to have a hard conversation and talk about those hard things. Your students, your colleagues, and your future self are going to be so grateful that you did. Thanks again for watching Teachers Learning Lounge with Jody, and make a great day.